This might be concerning you. How do I teach all my different age children at the same time? Let's stop and think about that question in the real world. Where in the real world is everybody the same age, at the same time? I suppose the only place really is in the systems of the school, where you've got all your grade 6-year-olds and your 7-year-olds and whatever, all in the same class. However, when those children now go out into the adult world, that's not the case. You don't get a room full of 30-year-olds only in the workplace. So that's first of all a consideration to think about, that by being at home with your children and having different age children, it's more realistic for how it's going to be in their adult life. So that's the first thing. But now you might be questioning, but how do I actually practically do it? Because you're used to your children all being in a classroom, or the teacher teaching a whole lot of 10-year-olds and another teacher teaching a whole lot of 12-year-olds. You're not going to have your 12-year-old and your 10-year-old in the same class necessarily. But now at home, they're together. Well, first of all, that's a blessing that they're at home. Secondly, it is how God has designed it. He might have given you twins, in which case you've got 2 children at the exact same age, but you've still got the same consideration with regard to each one's an individual. One's going to be a very fast learner with maths, and another one's going to really struggle perhaps. So it's like having 2 different age children, even though you've got twins and they're the exact same age. So the point is not being concerned about how you're going to go about teaching your children all at different ages, because just think about the weekends for a moment. You having meals together, you're talking to your children, you're going to the shops, you're having family time. All the time they are learning and you are teaching them, because you're a parent, and that just happens naturally, the way God intended it to. But I do understand that now you're getting down to the practicals and going, but what about teaching a maths lesson and teaching my little one to read and the older one to understand sentence diagramming? Well, again, that just comes down to organizing and planning, just like you would speak to your older child on a different level of maturity about different things to what you would talk to a 3-year-old. You wouldn't talk at the same level of maturity. It's the same thing. So now you're going to sit and do a language lesson that's involving sentence diagramming with the older one, and then when they settled into the lesson, you're then going to sit and teach the little one the alphabet and teach them to read. And so how do you juggle all of this and plan it and organize it in your day? This little clip was just to cover the concern that you might be having, saying, how am I possibly going to do it? I'm saying to you that you're going to do it naturally, just like you are already. You just have to think about it differently. And the actual daily practical, it actually does work itself out, in fact. Slowly you work out how to fit in teaching language to one level and maths to another child at a different level. While one is doing one subject, you're then busy with the next one, doing a different book, different level, different age. But that, let me tell you, only happens with the subjects that have to follow a sequential order. So you can't do multiplication until you've done addition, for example. So you have to do it level by level. But all your other lessons can happen together as a family. For example, when dad is talking to them about something, it's at one level. When the children are talking to each other about something, it's at another level, and both of those are important learning opportunities. So fortunately with Oikos, we do have the Konos manual, which actually helps integrate all your ages, everybody learning the same topic at the same time. So just also realize in Oikos living, you're on the Oikos site, you're watching an Oikos clip. Here, the only things that are done at individual levels is maths and language. All your other subjects are done as a family together, taking a topic of interest that will then be an opportunity to mold and train character. That would be done with the help and the support of the Konos manual. And so now all your social studies subjects are done at the same time. And so now in your mind and your reference you might have when you were at school, you were doing geography, history, science, and all the different subjects, and now you're thinking how you're going to do that for all your children at their different ages. Well, you don't have to in the home environment. It doesn't have to be like that. You can all talk about grasshoppers together and you can all study birds together. Obviously, the older child is going to be just studying at a higher level of maturity, taking in more knowledge, more facts, more detail than the little one. Will also be taking in facts and detail, but it'll just be at on a different level. So it's doable. It's not only doable, it's happening with thousands and thousands and thousands of families out there that are home educating a big variety of children with big age gaps, some as old as having 20-year-olds at home all the way down to little babies and toddlers. So it really is possible. Just think about it differently and you'll be able to do it. Think about your weekends and carrying them in through the week, and you will see it can just happen. It's not something to be afraid of. You can do it.